Wherever you go on the globe, you meet many Zimbabweans, and it is easy to identify them because of their warmness, their hardworking, they are hospitable, and in most cases, always very cheerful. They are brand ambassadors in different sectors of our economy. And it is within that context that today we have one of those who have also excelled very well. And this is His Worship, the former mayor of Kobe in the East Midlands in the United Kingdom. Your Worship, welcome to Economic Forum.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here.
And Economic Forum is a program where we discuss various issues affecting our economy. So here, Your Worship, we're going to, first of all, listen to your story of how you got there to be the first black mayor of Kobe, and also the opportunities that you seek to develop in business here in Zimbabwe.
My journey has been a story of miracle, to be honest. I've been in the UK, I think, since 1999. And the greater part of the time that I've lived in the United Kingdom was in Kobe, where we have both our sons born in Kobe, and they've gone to school there. One has just gone off recently to university. So we've lived in the same community for so many years, close to 20 years. And we've established our own networks, we've established friends, we are heavily involved in our own community. Now, I did also go to university in around that area. I went to the University of Bedfordshire, where I studied a degree in law. And I've always had a keen interest in politics when I was at university, and so I joined the Labour Party at that time when I was at university. When I came back from university in my own community, I joined the local Labour Party, started volunteering and participating in different activities that were organized by the party. And as the interest grew, I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to run for councillorship, and I got elected successfully. And so I've been a councillor for the past 3 years now, and I still have got 2 more years remaining on my term. Now, it is within that context of becoming a councillor that I was nominated. I was one of the nominees to be selected as a deputy mayor, and then I was successful, and I thank God for that. That's just the grace of God, by the way. And when you serve as a deputy mayor, it's almost as if it's training for you to become the mayor, unless if you do something very hideous.
Did you see it coming?
No. In fact, what happened when I got nominated, I went home, I said to my wife, somebody just put my name in there, and I don't know whether it's for the joke of it, and my wife said, if it's God's time, it will be God's time and it will happen. So it did happen, and I'm so grateful to God. It was a miracle.
Yes. When you became mayor, your photos being lifted by the people of Kobe, celebrating you as the first black to become a mayor, not only a first Zimbabwean, but the first black, were all over the internet. How did you feel?
I think it's mixed feelings, really. First of joy, and it's surreal. But can I just say that picture that went viral, that when you saw me being lifted, there's an event that happens once every 20 years. And you can imagine my tenure came in just at the right time, that I'm falling into that 20-year. So that one happened again. It's called the Kobe Poll Fair. It happens once in every 20 years. So majority of the people that I sit with in council right now might not have an opportunity to ever experience being a mayor during the poll fair, because obviously we are getting older and the younger people are coming in. But it was mixed feelings. I was so overwhelmed with joy. But the other thing that you don't realize, if you watch the video when I'm being lifted, I'm literally shaking because the chair was quite squeaky. So
I'm sure it was an old chair.
It is an old chair. It's the historic chair that they've used for many, many years. And so I was panicking, thinking, I'm hoping these people won't drop me. But yeah, it was mixed emotions. And I was overwhelmed. I was joyous as well. I was quite joyous.
Well, as Zimbabwe, as a country, as a nation, we're grateful for that, because whatever experience that you got from there is the experience that you share with us back home with issues that we're tackling back home, like service delivery, availability of water, just that civic responsibility. Probably before we end this session, just talk about the importance of civic responsibility.
Absolutely. And I remember growing up here many, many years ago. We used to have residents association. We used to have different groups which were heavily involved with communities. And so it is well, first I think we need to just tackle that issue about service delivery from the institution perspective. I think we have to have a heart for the people. It must come from within us. Everyone who's in the department that is supposed to deliver any kind of service must have a heart for the people, heart for the community to be able to deliver the service. But the other key thing that we have to remember also is that people are paying money for these services. So when somebody pays for a service, it is their right to get the service delivered and to get an excellent service, by the way. Now, that's the part of the institutions, but we've got to go back as well to the communities. And we'll go to businesses, because businesses have got social responsibility in every single area that they operate in. But the community has also got a duty to play. So, for example, if we speak about the issue of rubbish, you get rubbish strewn all over the places. You've got people traveling on roads, throwing away rubbish. You've got people even in local communities throwing away rubbish in the wrong places. That is an issue that we can't be blaming the service providers for. It is us as a community. So where does it start? It starts from us, you and me. It is our responsibility to make sure that we keep our towns, we keep our cities, we keep our communities clean. And that is what I want to encourage the country to do.
His Worship, Councillor Tafadzwa Chikoto, the former mayor of Kobe in the East Midlands, in England, in the United Kingdom, your guest today, and we are discussing your experiences and how they also impact on our economy in Zimbabwe. Since you are here and sharing those ideas, we are going to be looking at the recommendations that the former mayor may want to make about practical service delivery. So join us in the second segment of Economic Forum. This is Economic Forum, and we are now in the second segment of the program, where our guest today is His Worship, the former mayor of Kobe, a town in the East Midlands in the United Kingdom. And we are talking about various issues, including civic affairs, as well as business opportunities from the diaspora and here in Zimbabwe. Earlier on, Your Worship, we talked about service delivery and the role of residents and so forth. But if we were to come to Kobe, what is it that we can take away as far as good service delivery, as good civic responsibility are concerned, that we may also share here in Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much. And when we talk about service delivery, there has to be accountability. Accountability from both ends, first and foremost, from the person providing the service, but also accountability on our parts as people who are undertaking that service being delivered. So this is very key. Another thing that we must do, and we must always do, is to make sure that we are fully involved in anything that is happening in that partnership. It is a partnership because I'm paying for the service, you are delivering the service. So any changes must be informed, both parties must be informed, any new thing must be informed to both parties. So that is very key for us.
Yes, accountability is very important because at times we seem to overrule certain bylaws like building on wetlands and other such issues. How are those dealt with? I know you talked about accountability, but if people go ahead, what measures do you take in situations such as yours?
I think the system must cater for that. We are fortunate that in my town we have a good system in place. And having a system in place is also part of being accountable, by the way, from the service provider. We have task forces that deal with separate issues, task force for planning, which covers that area where you might potentially build in a place or build or erect a building without permission. So those task forces then take up the responsibility to ensure that these things are not happening in our communities. And also there's the greater asset is always us, the community itself. We bring that awareness, and these things can get quickly resolved. We have point of contacts, I'm sure, in every local authority, even here, that you can take your issues, you can raise awareness to just highlight that there's something or an illegal activity taking place. So we still come back, we can't get away from being accountable for our own communities.
Your Worship, Councillor Chikoto, during the President's visit to the coronation of King Charles, you had an opportunity of meeting him together with other Zimbabweans, and had some ideas about working with diaspora. What did you discuss, and what became of that?
Thank you. It was an honor, first and foremost, just to meet the President, His Excellency Comrade Mnangagwa. During his visit at the time of the coronation of King Charles III, the President had a round table, and he met with investors, including Zimbabweans, still emphasizing on the fact that Zimbabwe is open for business and encouraging Zimbabweans especially to come and invest in the country. So during that time, he had a hectic schedule, as you can imagine, and he needed to just make sure that we afforded much time to speak and discuss with him. So the President extended an invitation for us to come here to Zimbabwe on a visit to make sure that we have these meetings, and also to meet with the ministries, various ministries. Which brings me to the reason why I'm here in the country at the moment, to explore business opportunities, not just for us as a family, but for the Zimbabwean diasporan community in the UK. So we've come here on a trip, on a business trip, with people in various sectors, not just Zimbabweans, but also foreign investors who are, we've got a keen interest in investing in Zimbabwe.
Yes. What areas of interest are there within that group?
Oh, do you know, it's been varied. I mean, we've got people in the telecom sector, people who are interested in investing in telecoms. We've got people who are interested in the aviation sector. We've got people interested in healthcare, agriculture, farming, mining, housing. So it's all varied, and so it's a big team of us with different interests. We also have financiers we've got projects that they just want to come look at big projects that they can finance, and so it's a big group, varied interests.
Yes, and what did government put across to you, because it was arranged that you meet different government ministries and other interested parties in order to discuss with you about these opportunities?
I think I've got to take my hat off to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They've organized a fantastic trip for us. We've met several ministries, and in those ministries we've had follow-up meetings in our key areas. So, for example, this morning I was at the Ministry of Mines, then later on I was at the Housing Ministry, speaking to different people to pursue my own interests, and likewise my other counterparts, my colleagues, are meeting different people in different ministries. So it's a huge opportunity, but also what I need to re-emphasize is this opportunity is not just afforded to a select handful of people, no. This opportunity is being afforded to every single one of us, especially to the Zimbabwean community. Now, my specific invitation goes out to Zimbabweans in the diaspora. You must take heed of this call from the President. Zimbabwe is open for business, and there's a lot of opportunities, which we are going to avail, by the way, through the office of Ambassador Katsande, the ambassador in the United Kingdom. Yes,
and tell us about these people that you meet regularly in the diaspora. Are you an organized group, or are people just coming in as individuals in their own spheres of interest?
No, we have different groups. We have groups. We've got groups in farming. We've got another group that I can speak about. I think they're called Rural Enterprise Development Trust, with over 10,000 members, and they're investing right here. They've started already investing in Zimbabwe in the rural areas. We've got healthcare groups. We've got a lot of varied groups. And by the way, remember the demographics of the Zimbabweans in the UK has changed. You've got a lot of people who are running businesses now. So you've got Christian Business Fellowships, and these are groups that are ready to invest money here in the country.
You mentioned about the Rural Enterprise Development Trust, and indeed quite a number of people out of Zimbabwe in the diaspora are investing in homes back in the rural areas where they came from. You want to talk about that and how that can benefit our economy while people are still there in the diaspora?
Oh yeah, I think it's in line with what even the president's vision of leaving no place, no one behind. And this organization is fascinating, by the way. They've got over 10,000 members in the UK. And these members are investing only in the rural areas. Now, I want to encourage all of us, because land in the rural areas, as you know, is almost free, if not cheap. So there's no excuse for anybody not to build a home, not to participate in his own rural area. Once we do that, communities change because we can bring water, we can bring electrification, sanitation, and all those things. So there's no excuse.
That's our guest, the former mayor of Kobe, His Worship Tafadzwa Chikoto, who is our guest today. We've been talking, and we continue to talk about civic affairs, to talk about service delivery, as well as investments, especially by those in the diaspora. So join us in the third and final segment of Economic Forum. We're now in the third and final segment of Economic Forum, where today our guest is none other than the former mayor of Kobe in the East Midlands in the United Kingdom. That's Councillor Tafadzwa Chikoto, who has been telling us about his journey to that big office as the mayor, as well as opportunities for diasporans to invest in Zimbabwe, in particular after a meeting that was held with His Excellency the President, Comrade Idim Nangagwa, with different investors and those in the diaspora. Now let's talk about drug abuse. You mentioned that part of the delegation that came to Zimbabwe with you are interested in the health sector. Are you aware if already there are moves to be involved in arresting the drug menace that is facing Zimbabwe in many ways by opening up rehabilitation centers in order to make sure that our youngsters don't get wasted?
Absolutely. Can I just say that this is an international crisis. We're experiencing this from every corner of the earth. Now, Zimbabwe is not immune to this. As a family, we've resorted, as our give back to this nation, this wonderful nation, to build a state-of-the-art rehabilitation center, which will have several wings to cater. First and foremost, it will have a charity wing where we'll not charge people for that service. There's several people as well in my group who are interested in the healthcare sector, so you will see a lot of us taking a keen interest. We've been already to Norton to see a similar setup, which is run by Dr. Abigail Magwenzi. A fantastic space. She's opened up 2 rehabilitation centers in less than 6 months. Now that should worry you. Whilst it's a good case for her business, it should be concerning for us as citizens. So we are here to try and also assist by whatever means we can by entering that space to provide these services.
As a business person yourself, what advice would you give to fellow diasporans about not being skeptical about coming back to Zimbabwe to invest or to support businesses?
I think the first thing that we need to take out of our minds is the comparison, the cyber comparison to what is actually happening on the ground. There's a lot of negative publicity about Zimbabwe on the cyberspace. But what you must know, and what shocks me every single day, we fly into Zimbabwe twice every single month. The planes are full all the time coming into Zimbabwe with different people. When you go in any space, we were in Mazoe the other day trying to look for land that was full of different people, different races, by the way. Now, it would be a travesty for Zimbabweans not to take this seriously or take these opportunities seriously, because if you don't take them, other people will. So I want to reach out to you. As a family, we've invested a lot in this country, and that should be reassuring enough. But there's a lot of investors who are coming in, different sectors, mining, healthcare, farming. We've been farming, we are a farming family originally, and we've been farming for over 20 years. We've inherited that farm from my father when he passed away. And we are seeing a good income from every project that we're doing here in Zimbabwe.
How about those, about the skepticism we're talking about, who feel that it's difficult to open a business? Can you give some confidence to the fact that it's actually very easy and can be done in a day?
Now, the fantastic thing that's happening now, I don't know whether majority of people will know, but there's Zida now. Zida is now a one-stop shop for investments into the country. They've got fantastic staff, very, very well-informed staff who are in Zida. So it takes away, it removes that space where you didn't know where to start. Just go directly into Zida, go on their website, ZIDA, you'll find them on Google. Speak to them. They'll help you. They'll tell you even the areas where you can invest your money in. They'll also help you in regards to how do you keep your money secure. So there's no more worry for you, because that has been created for us to be able to invest easily and swiftly.
Yes. Like someone who is based overseas, your personal experience and that of those close to you about using the embassies for some of this information so that you get it easily, and when you come here, you'll be fully informed and serviced.
The embassy is always a great place to start, and the ambassador, especially for us in the United Kingdom, Ken Okatsande, he is great and is a business advocate. So he runs an open door policy. You don't need. It's only one day appointment. You just call. You go and see him. You ask him questions. He will direct you. He's got a fantastic team in the UK embassy as well. So make use of those contacts, and there will be a direct link for you to come and invest back home. My encouragement: please do come back and invest in your own country.
Yes, that's Councillor Tafadzwa Chikoto, who is the former mayor of Kobe, a town in the East Midlands in the United Kingdom. It was a pleasure having you on Economic Forum, sharing your experience of being a mayor, the first black mayor in that town, and also what you are doing in order to enhance diaspora business investments. If you would like to get in touch with us, our viewers, you can do so on the numbers that are showing on your screen. If you'd like to engage with us, you can also do that on the social media platforms that are also showing on your screen. If you've missed some of the episodes of Economic Forum, you can actually watch them on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. So on behalf of His Worship, the former mayor of Kobe, Tafadzwa Chikoto, and the production crew, this is John Masugu wishing you happy viewing.